Meanwhile, Park and the other organizers observed that the gods seemed to have been defeated, but John died after causing the explosion and they didn't know where Sang was. Mori, Dewey and Mira contemplated leaving the area, when suddenly Jeagle appeared in his new form and began to attack them. His strength was vastly superior and even Mori was injured by his blows. He grew angry with Jeagle for harming his friends and used the acupuncture technique taught by the old man. This technique involved touching various parts of his body to overcome his physical limits. With renewed strength, they started attacking Jeagle together, but he retaliated with lightning. Giant monsters then appeared, attempting to crush them. Jeagle wanted them to suffer before dying and threw a spear-like power at them. However, Dewey stepped in and got hit in the back. Despite his injuries, Dewey asked his friends to escape. In that moment Mori unleashed the ultimate godlike power and a giant staff fell from the sky. Sang was shocked to witness this and realized that Mori was the ancient guardian, Seton Taze. Mori removed the headband from his forehead, which transformed into a crown. His eyes changed color and the staff shrunk to his size. Mori grabbed it and began to beat Jeagle with it. Everyone watching was utterly amazed as Mori unleashed his newfound power. Jeagle summoned giant monsters, but Mori easily pierced through them with the staff. His anger was visible as he demanded an apology from Jeagle for hurting his friends. Mori began to name each of the people Jeagle had injured, taking revenge for their suffering. He hurled Jeagle towards the ground at tremendous speed. Despite his injuries, Jeagle got up and declared that he would never be a loser. In response, Mori gathered clouds in the sky and repeatedly struck Jeagle with lightning. Park informed the organizers that Mori's power was not borrowed from a god, but had become divine itself at that moment. Just then, Jeagle lost his transformation and fell defeated to the ground. While Sang and his followers disappeared, Mira and Dewey approached Mori with hugs, relieved to see him back to his usual self, hungry and all. However, Mori struggled to remember what had just transpired, and the crown on his head caused him intense pain. Jeagle managed to rise once more, but his face began to age rapidly. Determined, he transformed, turned into a grotesque multi-hand monster. Mori attempted to summon his powers again, but they failed him. Just then, Lepio arrived and reminded him to trust his comrades. The four friends embraced each other, ready to face Jeagle. Together, they reveled in the joy of fighting alongside each other, and Mori unleashed the power of the blue dragons, ultimately obliterating the monster. In his final moments, Jeagle recalled a memory of his mother bidding him farewell. Despite Lepio's attempt to reach out to him, Jeagle pulled away, bidding him to live a good life. He was then devoured by one of his own monsters, meeting his end. Lepio managed to catch some fragments of the key from Jeagle's vanishing body. Then a woman emerged, declaring herself one of the six and the progenitor of the human race, claiming to be the strongest and most significant figure in the tournament. She informed them that, as the winners, they had the privilege to make any wish they desired. In a rush, Mori approached the woman, expressing his desire for help to save his grandfather. However, in that moment he recognized the needs of his friends, some of whom were missing body parts due to the battle's toll. Mori realized he couldn't be selfish and decided to put his own wishes aside. Instead, he made a selfless wish for the injured participants to have their bodies restored to their original state. The woman used her power and miraculously, those who had lost limbs or suffered injuries were completely healed, returning to their condition before the battle. She also informed Mori that his grandfather was indeed alive, though his presence felt extremely weak. Mori shouted for joy upon hearing the news and his crown disappeared, but he fell into a deep slumber due to exhaustion. The scene shifts, and Mori awakens from a 3-month slumber. He heads to the kitchen where he finds Mira and Dewey busy cooking. In a flashback, the wish-granting woman informs Lepio that the key fragments have been scattered across the world. She entrusts him as the guardian of the key, with the task of gathering them, as the key possesses the power to challenge and potentially defeat the gods. Mori learns that to regain his lost memories from the battle, he must visit Seton Taze's homeland. Determined to grow stronger, Mori, Dewey and Mira decide to embark on a journey to a distant location. They share a heartfelt moment, hugging each other, and Mori expresses his belief that the three of them will become stronger together. He also vows to find his missing grandfather. In the final scene, Jin Taijian remains imprisoned in a dark dungeon, his arm missing. Despite his dire circumstances, He thinks about Mori and firmly believes that his grandson is capable of defeating even gods and challenging destiny itself. Thanks for watching.